This little bridge is a little boardwalk going over your creek, right?
It is.
Okay.
So 3 years ago, I built a tiny house. I had fallen in love with tiny house living
Oh, I love this little
at Dr.
bridge. Look at all
Toe's
this.
property. And I had a friend that suggested perhaps I wanted to put my glamp, which is my tiny house, over my creek.
So what does glamp mean?
Glamp is glamorous camping. And so I have an outdoor kitchen, so I can use that 3 seasons. And my boudoir, or my bedroom and my bath are inside, and they're very glamorous. My personal style. Everything's run on solar. And
Are your solar panels on the roof?
I have 4 solar panels on the roof, and
Okay.
they run.
Can't see them easily through here, but that's fine.
They run my fan and some direct wired lights inside. But I have a 4
That's right, we passed the
kilowatt
panels.
panel up at the top, which provides energy for a mini split system for heating, cooling, and dehumidifying,
Okay.
and a small refrigerator.
And we can go look at that mini split in a second.
Sure.
So, and we'll do a little quick video on your panels up that we passed a little
Sure.
while ago. We saw the back of them, which is where the persimmon trees were.
Are we running or not?
Yeah.
Oh, so the thing about, I made a choice 3 years ago to basically heal myself and restore from my life as medical school and an entrepreneur. I stopped using all technology at sunset, and I don't have any technology in my house, no Wi-Fi. I turn my phone off at night, and I have restored myself. My adrenals are so healthy. The adrenals are the organ on top of the kidneys that secrete stress hormone. Stress hormone can interrupt our sleep, it can drive our blood sugar, it can make us anxious, it can create all kinds of health problems. But over the last 3 years, as I have slept away from technology and things that I associate to stress, and I've immersed myself in beauty of nature, I have really come back to my best self and made a lot of decisions that I couldn't have made if I'd kept on the same track of overextending, using caffeine or sugar to prop me up.
Yep. Working so hard. Yep.
I can make such better decisions from a rested and restored place.
Yep.
Is the inside. I have just bits.
Oh, I love this place.
It's incredible.
Yep.
It's really a
Go
lovely
ahead.
place to hang out, restore, visit with friends. We're drying the towel with sunshine. And
Where did you get your furniture, your wicker? Just at yard sales and stuff?
this one was from my mom, that I'm sure came from an estate sale or a yard sale.
Yep.
These are actually willow, and they were handcrafted by a guy in Tuscaloosa that's actually a homeless guy that would show up at the shelters.
Oh, wow.
And he pieced all these and the settee together by hand.
Yep.
Major craftsmanship there
Wow.
to weave willow. This chair, Solar Compadre's wife gave me. She handmade it, and this is the best seat in the house.
I know. I gotta have one.
And honestly, when you're sitting
They're like
in-
hammock chairs, or
They are.
Yeah.
They're super comfortable. And if you just turn around and show them that view, Franny.
yes. It's so beautiful in here,
Also
and the
know
breeze is coming through, and I feel the.
scientific literature really confirms our experience that our brain changes, our stress reduces, our heart rate normalizes. We find coherence between the beats. We find ourselves feeling more like we're in gratitude than anxiety.
Yep.
When we just allow ourselves to spend time in nature.
Yep.
We see the stories about the hikes, but what if you live in nature, but we're not dealing with so many mosquitoes and the things that make us uncomfortable and not able to spend so
Right.
much time in nature?
Now through that door are your panels, or your power system. Is that
Yes.
correct? Batteries
So
and.
in here are my batteries and the brain of the solar system. This is a hood that vents the dangerous gases out, so
Yep.
nothing explodes.
Yeah.
I have a set of 8 batteries, Sarita batteries. They're lead acid batteries. They have to be watered monthly.
And you take care of them yourself.
I do.
So you've learned how to do that. And you started out not really knowing how to do all this.
I would say I still don't know how to do a lot, but I do keep it maintained. That's the key, is just learning how to water your batteries. You can get other support, but somebody has to. They do have systems that you can install that water the batteries for you, but the batteries are the limit and the key to solar energy.
Yep.
When people ask me about solar energy, my joke is, they said, how does it work? And my answer is always, it's great when the sun's shining. But realistically, one of the things we can also do, even before we go solar, is start conservation processes, knowing how much energy something requires, turning off lights. And when you want to go solar, you really need to do studies about how much energy you're using.
Yes, and a lot of people think you can just add solar panels to a regular house. You can, but it takes a huge number of solar panels to run a regular refrigerator, regular washer, and a dryer's not always practical, and an electric stove, and air conditioning. You don't have those types of things. So we're going to go in the other room and talk about this. So now we're inside.
I'm clicking on some lights. As you know, I'm keeping them all off during the day. But one of the things that you should remember about solar is, if you want to condition your house and it's a sunny day, getting it cool between 10 and 2, which I'm going to turn it on now because we're a little
this is called a mini split. Is that correct?
Yes, the style is called a mini split. And what that means is it has a lot of computers that keep it running at really efficient rates. So it has like a couple of brains. I don't really understand the mechanics, but air conditioners in general have improved. People can use small air conditioners in systems, but these are the preferred for solar.
Yeah.
What I find is actually the most helpful is there's a dehumidify mode. So in the south, I'm frequently running the dehumidifier, and it's taking the water outside, but it's done very efficiently.
Yeah.
And if I get the moisture out of the room, it feels cooler.
Right. What does the 21 up there mean?
So 21 is the Celsius.
Okay, 21 degrees.
Yes.
Okay. So this is where I'm sleeping when I'm visiting this weekend. So here's my bed. And this is a loft up this way that I think you sleep up here in the wintertime. Is that right?
I do. I sleep here in the winter, but because the heat rises, I'm more comfortable, and I use a lot of skin in the place, like these little furs, to help be warmer. But in the summer, I sleep down on the day bed because it's a cooler atmosphere.
Yep. Perfect. And then in here is the bathroom.
Yes,
which is
a very luxurious
finished
bathroom.
Yep. But it's so lovely because there's this huge window you can look at out into nature, which is one of our goals of getting more in a more natural setting. And then there's a shower outside on the porch, which I took this morning outside.
Outdoor shower, we'll show you that too. But this is one of the things I learned about solar in the winter. The mini split with the basically 4 kilowatts of 4,000 kilowatts of wattage, I can only run my mini split on heat for about 4 hours. I have 8 batteries, and you can only use 30% of your storage.
Wow.
So I had to do a backup propane. This is such a small area that it's quite efficient. I do have 90-pound liquid propane tanks. Those have to be pulled and refilled.
Yep.
So I made the mistake of putting my bathroom on the north side. That's the coldest side of the house. So if you're going to do a bathroom in a solar home, it's much better to put it on the hot side. So the south side makes much more sense.
Yeah. We put ours kind of in the middle, but it's shaded. So we have to do the same as you. We have to use propane to warm it up.
So that's the things we need to think about on planning and learn from us that have made the mistakes, is orienting your house in the correct directions is so important.
Yes.
Or perhaps berming a section of the house so you get an even temperature that you can work from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We go out this back door, and there's these lovely
if you look,
steps.
Turn around, you can see from the toilet, which is actually, it is on the sewer system.
Yep.
If you look out, you're able to see a beautiful view.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So you can sit on the john
and see it all.
And be in nature.
Also, I love these steps. This is facing east. So I almost every morning come and bring a cup of tea and sit around sunrise or just before and wake up with all the bird song.
Oh,
and
yes.
watch the sunrises.
I had the doors open, and oh my gosh, I could hear all the birds this morning.
And last night, Franny slept like I have been doing for the last week with this beautiful break from late spring with all the windows open. I'm a huge fan of ventilation.
Yep.
If we just walk around the steps, you can see one of my loves in life, which is outdoor showers.
Outdoor shower. And so there's plenty of greenery. Nobody can see us here. That's got a wall of...
But if you wanted to close it, we've put a door.
Yep. And
so
I did that just to see what it was like.
Right.
I did that this morning.
And if you just look around the corner, you can see the backup heating system, which is a gas propane on demand. That way you don't have a tank that's requiring heating all the time. It just heats it as it goes through. But what is the key for this place?
You have a hot water system.
Look above
you. Oh, there it is.
Yes, it's a 40-gallon stainless steel tank.
Yep.
And all I could say is it works so well. It actually almost works too well in the summer.
Yes, it's so hot.
It will start bleeding the water off with a pop top. So I try sometimes in the heat of the summer, I actually come and run the hot water out. All my water is going out into the environment for watering purposes, and I only use biodegradable and minimal soaps and so forth,
shampoos and things.
Yes, only. And this shower, of course, just goes and feeds the
down underneath,
which we're starting to get a huge fern population.
Yep.
Behind the big beautiful green screen that kind of blends in with nature. This is concrete board. I use a lot of concrete board in my buildings because it doesn't deteriorate. A little bit more expensive on the front end. Labor costs are the same, and it lasts a lot longer. So behind here, which has not been cleared up this year yet, we have a 90-pound LP.
Okay. So do you take, that's what your gas for your bathroom? Oh, you have one over there on the corner of the house as well.
This is for only the backup
generator. For the generator.
So I have a whole house backup generator.
Yes.
Which communicates with the brain of the Outback controller.
Okay.
Solar. So
I didn't realize you could get a propane generator. How interesting.
Yes, you can get propane or natural gas.
So how do you take these tanks that are so large and go get them filled?
Pain in the butt, and I have to ask somebody to help me.
Yes, because they're heavy.
So we take a dolly and lean it back, strap it, pull it up the hill to the truck.
Yeah.
Which we then put in the back of the truck, and then we have to go to a vendor that's local. And
they can handle that size of a tank.
Well, they all pretty much do.
Okay.
But it's just, you know, that is for me as a smaller woman.
Yeah, it's almost as big as you are. It probably is about as heavy.
And it also creates like a little bit of a dependency system that I'm not fond of. Asking people for help. And of course, they always run out at the coldest week of the year.
How often do you have to take that? And
so if I'm with the hot water heater, I've cut down a lot of, I probably did one 90-gallon tank for the house last year. And I also have 3 canisters. One for my outdoor 2 burning eye little stove.
And those are a lot smaller.
Yes, and they're just the ones you go to
20 gallons,
20 gallons, and lightweight. I have 3 of those. 2 of them are under the house, and they feed my little suburban tea station that's inside the glamp.
Yep.
One feeds my outside 2-burner gas range and little tiny oven. So I only refilled all of those probably once last year. That's not bad at all. And then this one I filled once last year. But I was very conservative.
Yeah.
What has helped a lot is having the hot water, because hot water is a huge demand in the home.
Yeah.
And so if you can do a solar hot water heater, that's going to make
look how you can see that from here.
So much less demand on the gas that we need.